someone? Welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fun it is to make fun of Jeeps at a Jeep event as a Toyota owner, which is pretty fun, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name is Tyler, and joining me again for another awesome episode of the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast, Mr. Jimmy Jet. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Nice.
I'm getting better every day. I feel like I can walk more.
Okay.
No, I'm not running.
You're not running a marathon yet?
No, I did. I went down to a pool party this last weekend for our 4th of July weekend and stood on the diving board and did a hop and then quickly regretted my decision. I was kind of acting like, oh, I might jump in. And then there's jumping up and down and the motion of the
motion of the ocean,
the motion of coming down all of a sudden was a little more than I wanted to deal with.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm walking around more. I'm barely taking I'm taking a Tylenol or two a day, just kind of scooting along. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, things are getting better. It's still tender, but I'm healing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you show your gift to the assistant from the MFers?
I did. Yeah. She said, thank you for the help.
Perfect. Good job, team.
Yeah. Yes. There's a backstory for that. If you, I'm keeping this less than X-rated.
Yeah.
If you want to know more of that information, and mainly some of it has to do with the recovery and testing of my surgery. So if you are curious about what's actually happening here, DM me on Instagram.
Doctor's orders, man.
Yeah.
It's doctor's orders. We're just saving the assistant.
Yeah.
That's who we really had in mind with that gift.
I believe it.
Okay. Anyways, glad you're doing better.
Thank you.
You're sitting up instead of laying on the couch today. So
yeah, I'm doing okay. The ride down to my buddy's house outside of Salinas was a little long. It was longer than it should have been because it was just traffic on a Saturday before the holidays. But it was a long time of sitting. There was a few times when I was like, I just want to stop for like 5 minutes and stand up for a quick second and adjust. But the assistant did some driving, which was nice because normally she doesn't.
Did you take Charlotte?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, nice.
She drove.
She's doing good with the manual, that third pedal then?
She's getting better.
Okay.
She's getting better. She panics when she goes up the gears fine, but then when she slows down,
come to stopping
coming to a stop, or even just like the freeway slows down, she's like clutch in, still in gear, right? But goes, okay, where should I shift? What do I do?
Yeah.
And what really scares you, and it is weird, I'll give her that, is that like when we are stopped and she doesn't want to ever go to first gear because she's afraid she'll go into reverse.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's first is over to the left and up, and reverse is over to the left a little bit farther and up. But
don't you have a lockout gate on the front? You don't have a lockout?
It's just,
there's
There's like a more aggressive push to the left.
Okay.
To moves it into where reverse is. But it's more or less, the difference is shifting between first and third.
Gotcha.
Right. Eventually you know where it is.
Yeah. You figure out where the pattern is,
and granted there is a beep that happens and the radio turns into your review camera. So she would know eventually, minus the fact of maybe going backwards. Yeah. But so whenever we were coming slow, I told her, and maybe it was my own mistake, I said, this truck's gearing's low enough that you can near stopping. If you're still kind of moving, you can start in second.
Yeah.
You just have to feather the clutch a little. So then we got off the freeway one time and she never went to first. She slowly rolled through stop signs. It was just always in second gear.
That's funny.
Yeah. Second gear and would get up to fourth on the side roads. And then, and one thing maybe it's just me, but it sort of bothers me is when we're coming to a stop sign, she doesn't downshift, but she just pushes the clutch in, but she leaves it in whatever gear it's in.
Okay.
She doesn't move it to neutral.
So she holds the clutch and the brake as she's coming to a stop.
Yes.
Okay.
but she doesn't do anything with the stick shift, right? She doesn't downshift. She doesn't move it to neutral. She doesn't. Yeah. So to me, I think I would prefer moving it to neutral, push the clutch in, move it to neutral, then just use the brake.
Yeah.
I downshift.
Yeah. I downshift too.
But yeah, she got confident enough that today we were playing a little, we're figuring out life because we leave tomorrow for Overland Expo, and we wanted it. I think we're taking the assistant's CRV.
Okay.
But so I went to take her car to get an oil change, and it was sort of close to timeline of when we needed to take the mini assistant to piano. And I was like, well, if I'm not back, you can take the Tacoma. And she's like, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
nice.
Like we're getting somewhere. I kind of want to take the Tacoma now just to kind of put her in the driver's seat more.
Yeah.
But the CRV gets almost twice as good gas mileage as the Tacoma does.
Yeah. It's a long trip too. You guys are going to be on for 10 days.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's, we did a few things at the house this morning. I ran some panels, caught up with panels. My brother and my father are going to help me while I'm gone, which is totally cool. So I don't have to close Snail armor, which is nice. Going to be really nice. Yeah. I might put a notice up that saying shipping times are delayed while I'm up at Expo. I don't know. I might not. But yeah, so we did a little bit on the house this morning, put up a ceiling fan. And I mean, I didn't do any of it.
Yeah.
Just be honest. I'm not allowed to lift that weight, or they don't want me on a ladder or anything.
Back with your pom-poms.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, congratulations. Good work. But the assistant's stepfather came over and did some work, and the assistant was there, and the mini assistant went over to my parents' house. And so we did a little bit of that, and now we're full pack mode for Overland Expo.
Sweet.
That's what the assistant was like, I want to come back and do more on the house. And I'm like, no, like,
yeah,
tomorrow we're leaving. Let's focus on that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Cool. That's good, man. Things are going well. So,
yep.
Let's do a couple of updates for everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you got a nice looking moose knuckle there.
Thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
I appreciate it.
Anytime, man.
The packaging is really nice on that moose knuckle.
It is really cool packaging. I like the packaging of your new moose knuckle.
I know.
For sure.
There's some good stuff over there.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked to be working with moose knuckle.
Noose knuckle?
Noose. What are you messing me up? Moose knuckle off-road. I'm not quite sure if I had to search. So I searched moose knuckle. Which might have been a mistake.
That never brings up anything bad on Google. So
I wouldn't Urban Dictionary it. Let's just go there.
Okay.
But when I searched moose knuckle in Google to figure out more information for the show notes, they weren't at the top of the list. So I searched moose knuckle off road, and then they were at the top of the list.
Cool.
So if anybody's looking for them, make sure to type in the off road part. You could probably type in recovery or shackle. Those will all bring it to the top. But I did moose knuckle off road. So we got 2 of their jowls in. We got 1 of the moose knuckles in. We got a normal bow shackle in, and we got their hitch receiver in.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how many of these we're going to give away.
Yeah.
How many we might keep. But we're super excited to be able to share them with you.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're stout. And you were just talking about this, and I didn't look through the website enough to find it, but you said that they have data sheets on their website of all of the minimum braking strengths, load stats of their recovery equipment.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
I'm not sure about all of them. Let me blanket that statement. Okay. The only one I saw it on the jowls.
Okay.
I don't know if they had it on any of the others. I didn't look but I was scrolling through the jowls, which are the 2, they call them J hooks that overlap, the ones that we've talked about in previous episodes. They had it on that one because that really is it is a unique design for these hooks where you don't have to completely undo it to put a kinetic strap or another strap on there. Yep. So on that one, on their website, they did show some of the destructive testing
that's cool.
Or outcomes of it. Yeah.
No, that's really neat. I'm a big fan. We've talked about it in the past, but be very wary and cautious of buying any recovery equipment where the vendor will not show you the destructive testing of it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So I know that Spartan Rope is doing destructive testing on everything they have now.
Yep.
Sounds like Moose Knuckle does destructive testing. Factor 55 absolutely does destructive testing. And all three of those companies show the product, show the results of their destructive testing too. So I'm a big fan of it. Anybody that comes out with a cool idea and design in the off-road recovery scene, I'm a big fan. So like the jowls, they're a pretty sweet design. I'm looking at them, a little bit closer here now, and I'm like, this is actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really neat. I'm considering getting a pair for the back of Bobcat. I have just normal bow shackles back there now, but I have them zip tied closed so that they don't get stolen. And then I have to, anytime I want to hook a strap up, I have to grab a soft shackle.
Yeah.
Right. Well, with these, I never have to grab a soft shackle. And these will, let's be honest, soft shackles are, what do you call it? They're
consumables.
They're a consumable. Thank you. It's a consumable item. They get worn out. The fibers break, they get worn out over time. It's really what it is.
Yep.
These guys, they're probably to some extent a consumable, but not nearly like a soft shackle.
Yeah. You just kind of got to watch them and see if they start getting stress fractures in them. But I mean, they're rated for a 10,000 pound working load limit, right? So as long as you're keeping them within 10,000 pounds, you can in theory use them forever, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then typically metal shackles have a 4 to 5 times safety factor in them.
Yeah.
So that means that their braking strength is 4 to 5 times their working load limits, right?
Right.
So I haven't looked at what their safety factors are and what the braking strengths are in all of their stuff. But if they're keeping to industry standards, we're looking at 50,000.
Yeah,
40 to 50,000 pounds. So
does it say, are you on the website right now?
I think I still have it pulled up
Does
here.
it say what the load limit is for the jowls, which are the more unique one?
Jowls are, these are the colors. That's why. Working load limit, 10,000 pounds. Pin style is a proprietary design. I like their pin style too.
Yeah.
So
I like how the jowls, because you never need to remove it. You pretty much lock these things onto the vehicle.
Yep.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. It's you Allen key them together, right? So instead of having a pin that you can undo by hand, you have to have an Allen key in order to get it open. So, or a hex key. Sorry.
But it makes it, a lot of thefts are probably not carrying around a hex key when they want to try to steal these. With a normal bow shackle, all you need is a screwdriver and you can just crank it. So,
yep. I just found the stats on their jowls. It's a 10,000 pound working load limit, 5 ton for all of you Australians, and built in 5-to-1 factor of safety. So the safety factor is 5-to-1. So the minimum braking strength is 50,000 pounds.
Wow.
And then they have a link to see the brake test results below here. Yeah. So really cool stuff. And I like that they do minimum braking strength as well.
Yes.
There's some companies out there that like to put in maximum braking strength as their braking strength ratings on their equipment. And that is not what you want to look at.
No.
you want to look at
what the maximum is.
No, you want to know if that thing is going to fail. What is the minimum point at which it could fail at?
Yeah. And the general difference there is if they tested it 10 times and they had a 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 30,000, 35, up the rank. Maximum is whatever the best braking strength was. Minimum was that 5,000.
Exactly.
Right. Which this one is minimum is 50,000. And that's really good that they say the minimum, because that means pretty much you'd be concerned about braking it over 10,000 pounds, but its minimum brake is 50,000.
Yep. Yeah. It says they did their peak load on their tests was 57,276 pounds.
Cool.
So yeah.
Peak load, and that doesn't even say it broke.
No. Yeah. So
and that's the jowls.
That's the jowls. The two J hooks that overlap. Yeah. So cool design. I really like the design of these because I'm a big fan of soft shackles, but if you can eliminate more braking points in a recovery system, it makes life so much better and less risky, right?
Yeah.
The more connection points you can eliminate. So being able to just kind of open these up, throw the end of the loop of your strap in there, you're eliminating another thing that can go wrong. So
yeah.
Yep. I like it.
It doesn't eliminate soft shackles.
No,
you're still going to need it.
You're still going to need some soft shackles, but like
you don't need as many.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's the Moose Knuckle. So some pretty cool stuff. Kind of a newish company in the off-road scene doing some really cool stuff. And so far from everything we're looking at here, we're liking it. So.
Yeah. 100%. I was looking at their About Us page and they were talking about how truck nuts are illegal in some states.
Are they now?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
That was, so they said that they came out with this, the Moose Knuckle design.
Okay.
To not imitate truck nuts, because these are not truck nuts. They are shackles, but it is a fun design to hang off the back of your truck.
Gotcha. There's an amazing episode from The Dollop about the history of truck nuts.
Oh my gosh. I'll have to listen to that.
Amazing. I'll see if I can remind me. I'll find it and we can put it in the show notes here. Because it's anybody who likes trucks and has any kind of concept of male genitalia on vehicles, it's a hilarious episode. All
right. And those guys would make a good show out of that.
Yes,
for sure.
Would. So anyways, thanks Moose Knuckle for providing those. We'll figure out exactly which ones we're going to do for the giveaway here for you guys, and then let you know probably once we're back from P&W.
Yeah.
So along those lines as well, we're probably going to let you guys know all the remaining Flex winners, which I think is just one winner left to pull, and it is the Snail Squad winner.
Correct. Yep.
For Flex. And so we'll pull that winner when we get back. And then that's when we're back from P&W. We'll also be looking at shipping everything from the Flex Power Tool month.
Sounds good. So. Yeah, we might, we got some recording to do while we're up there. So maybe we'll just do a drawing, but we won't probably do the FNGs and birthdays and everything else until we get back. So maybe we can pull it off. Don't hold your breath.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
I will not hold my breath. How's that? So cool stuff. That's some of those updates, giveaway update stuff there. The winch giveaway. I know we just were recording actually on a Monday today, which is the day that the episode came out announcing the prices for the winch giveaway. So, we're going to have the group buy go for 3 weeks here from when that episode launched. So hopefully you guys are not more than 3 weeks behind on listening to the podcast. So that means 1, 2, 3, July 24th is when I'm going to close down the group buy.
Okay.
So you guys have until July 24th to get in touch with me and let me know if you want a 10K winch or a 12K winch. $485 on the 10K and $525 for the 12K.
Sweet.
So there's that. We also
Did you get my order?
I think so.
I sent you an actual email with my requirements.
Oh, okay. I haven't got to the Snail Trail email yet today.
All right. Okay. It's in there.
Okay. Perfect. So yeah, I'm getting
Is there a bulk buy if we buy more than 10 ourselves? Like, do we get another discount?
Probably not.
Okay.
Did you order more than 10?
No, I was just curious.
Okay. Oh man. Yeah, I'm getting one for the Bronco, one for the 4Runner. Those are both gonna, the 4Runner is going to be a 12K, Bronco will be a 10K. And then I'm getting a 12K for the trailer, the flatbed trailer.
You're getting a what for the trailer?
A 12K.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm going to be putting on there. So
yeah. A lot of times though, I mean, my thought on trailers is you don't need a whole lot because it has to kind of roll to get up there.
Ideally it's rolling.
Yeah.
If it's dragging, then
yeah. Well, if it's dragging, yeah. So most of the time though, I don't think you need a whole lot of strength on those.
Okay.
My thought is, so I have 2 winches in the shop right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm
going to put I forgot what something off-road company that gave me an 11K winch.
Okay.
I'm thinking about because it's red. I've been thinking about putting that on Clifford.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I don't know why. I think the Trail Gear one that Hustle Nuts bought me like many, many moons ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an 8.5
okay,
or a 9.5 somewhere in there. So I'm thinking about putting that one on the trailer.
Okay.
And then I asked for a 12 and a 10. And I'm thinking of putting the 12 on Bobcat and the 10 on Samantha.
Nice. I think that would work out well.
So that's my game plan.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like it. I like winches.
Might as well buy another one just to put it on the shelf so I can say I got a backup.
There you go. Oh, that's funny. So yeah, group buy on the winches, July 24th. You guys have and to get a hold of us about that, what you want. Let's see. We have a couple reviews that we can do.
Okay.
And reviews are fun to do. We're at 500. We are 500. 537.
537.
So 13 more, and then we'll get to do a swag pack.
Nice. And then once we get to 750, we're giving away a set of Yokohama tires. Thanks to Yokohama, we're giving away pretty much any tire you want besides slicks, stickies, and 20-inch wheel tires.
Yep, pretty much. So if you need a set,
you can get
for
24s though.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they make them.
Yeah. If you need a set of tires for your Prius, then you can do that for sure with them. We're going to judge you though for putting them on your Prius.
Unless they're race status.
Unless it's a race Prius, then I will. Yeah. Then I want some pictures.
An RR or the RTs.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, I got an awesome picture the other day. I keep meaning to post it on Instagram, on the Morphlate Instagram, of a vehicle that they use a Morphlate Duo on.
Oh, okay.
And he goes, hey, we have this, and we take our tires down to like 3 PSI. And he was having some issues with the gauge calibration. So I told him how to recalibrate it, and he hasn't got back in contact with me yet. So I assume the recalibration worked. But he goes, yeah, we're using this on a tractor, and we take the pressure down to like 3 PSI. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, absolutely. That would make sense to use it on tractor as a duo. And I'm thinking like a farm tractor. He uses it on a tractor pull tractor, like a 2,000 horsepower tractor with like 60-inch tires.
Like that are
doing
paddles.
sled pulls. Yeah, doing sled pulls.
Dang.
So he sent me a picture of it. It's a neon green tractor and everything. It's pretty freaking awesome. I'll have to dig it up and show you.
Do that. Well, I'll make it like the show notes or the show icon.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah. It's definitely show icon worthy. It's a badass picture. Cool. So remind me and I'll get that to you. Okay. So, So, talking to people, getting to do reviews, and you guys get a chance to win some tires. So send the reviews in. We have a few here. One is from Jesus Christ. Bax KLBXJ.
XJ.
Yeah, we'll skip that one. We don't like XJs here.
Yep.
They don't have enough soul to be read on the podcast.
And by soul, you mean frame?
By frame, yeah, exactly. So, next one is from Adventure with the Cranes.
Yeah, see, that's so much better.
Right? It's actually a long one, though. I need to pull up the next page here to read the full thing. It says, great podcast. Thanks for working so hard to bring a quality off-road podcast. There are not many, and you're one of the best. I loved the Rubicon history episode. Been a lifelong dream to get out there. I live in Florida. Sorry. And now when I do make it out there, I'll be able to recognize some spots and know some of the history. I have a 2010 GX 460 that I'm building up for big road trips and wheeling, dare I say, overlanding.
You can dare.
They dared.
But I would not take that on the Rubicon.
Yeah. I'm really curious. I'm waiting for Battery Ryan to take his GX on the Rubicon.
Yeah.
So
my guess is his is going to be built up not as much overlandy.
No, he's building it up to do overlanding in.
Yes.
But like it's also built as a pretty stout rock crawler too.
Yes.
like heavy duty rock landing. We'll put it that way.
There you go.
Yeah. So,
well, thanks for writing in.
Yeah.
Always good to hear people from the other side of the country.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We got the next one here from Franco Scalurk. Franco Scalurk is what I'm calling it.
All right. Hey, Frank.
Informative and a good laugh. It says, came across this podcast by accident and decided to give it a try. Taylor and Jimmy are really funny and keep entertained for hours. I started listening for the early ones, and this week I finally caught up with the latest ones. I drive for a living, so listening to these two talk about their adventures in life keeps me busy while driving up and down the UK.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Also managed to get myself a 4x4 and will hopefully start going green laning with some friends soon. Thanks for the great listen, guys. Also subbed on Irate 4x4.
Sweet.
What is green laning?
I have no idea. Is it like green sticker?
I don't know. Is it green stickering or is it
roads that are in the middle of pastures?
Maybe, or maybe it's that's their term for overlanding?
Maybe.
I don't know. Benji, what's green laning? Does it have to do with overlanding?
Yeah.
Are we just green to green laning?
Or somebody from the UK, please call in and let us know what the hell you guys are talking about.
Yeah, we'll have to see if our Estonia buddy writes in and lets us know.
He's not in the UK.
You don't think that they would know in Estonia what green laning means?
I don't know if it's a UK term, a European term, a term that the rest of the world uses that America just doesn't understand. I don't know.
It's probably one of those.
Yeah.
It's a metric term.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Okay, we'll go back to Mr. XJ. Bax KLBXJ. Amazing podcast. This podcast is hilarious. I love listening to this with my dad in the garage while we work on cars.
Cool.
Sweet. I think his dad made him write that.
Yeah, his dad wanted the winch.
I know, right?
Yeah. Is there nowhere to mount a winch on an XJ?
No, there's not. I wouldn't even mount a winch on an XJ because
rip your cab in half.
Exactly. Rip that tinfoil open. Now, Rough Stuff just started launching a fuck ton of XJ products.
Yes, they did. I saw that.
I was talking with Dan up at Cantina this weekend. Dan was out there. So I was talking with him. They've launched over 19 new XJ products in the past 3 months.
Dang.
90 days.
Good for them.
Yeah. So, and they look great. They had a few of them out there and I was like, these look pretty damn good. Like, so they do a great job over at Rough Stuff. Good buddies. They make some great products. They do some great engineering. And yeah, they also I found a product that they have that is going to make my life so much easier and yours too if you do any more Rocklight installs.
Okay.
So you know how we've been making our Rocklight brackets out of like angle iron?
Yeah.
They have light bar or Rocklight brackets that are already set up as an angle with all the hardware and everything to attach your light bar, your Rocklight to.
Nice.
So it's at a 45-degree angle sticking off of your frame already and everything's set up, ready to go. You don't have to punch holes through the angle iron or modify the angle iron at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Sold.
Yep. I'm like, I need some of those.
Maybe we need to become XJ Jimmy.
XJ Jimmy. You were already XJ Jimmy. You tried that once in life. It didn't work out well for you.
I did. That's true, actually. Yeah. I got a lemon.
Yeah. All right.
California actually bought that car off of my parents because it was causing so much problems.
Oh, XJs. We love you, but not really.
Yeah.
We love to make fun of you. How's that?
There we go. Perfect.
All right. So we'll do 2 more here.
Okay.
Cine Mini. It says, now I want a Toyota. There
Good.
we go.
What did you have?
Let's see. Review number 2 for Cameron from MD, Maryland.
Sure.
MD is Maryland. You guys really have me wanting a Toyota as a project. I don't have much desire to see the cities in California, but I really want to come out to try the trails and see the nature. Keep it up, guys. I will say,
I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You don't want to come to California to see San Francisco. There's nothing to see. No, there's nothing to see in San Francisco. There's a lot of traffic to see in San Francisco.
Yes. There's horrible traffic, a lot of people, theft, crime. There's
homelessness all over.
There are hotels leaving, like big hotel chains leaving San Francisco right now.
Oh, I didn't hear about those.
Because they don't want to deal with the crime and homelessness that is going on in San Francisco. And because people are not traveling there as much because there's so much crime and homelessness.
Yeah.
But there's some cool things to see in San Francisco as if you can deal with traffic and some homelessness craziness.
Debatable.
I don't know. Alcatraz is pretty cool.
I need to go. I haven't even got to go see Alcatraz yet.
No, see, well, how can you say that's not anything good if here you are telling me you want to go see it? Sounds like
I do want to go see Alcatraz.
Yeah, walking on the Golden Gate Bridge is pretty cool. On those big. Like if you could do, I don't know if they let you, but if you could hike up those,
they definitely won't let you do that.
I don't know. They might. They do in Australia, and they're on their big old bridge.
Do they really?
Walking out? Yeah. They have a skyline thing, and you walk up their big old bridge that's outside the Opera House.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know you definitely cannot do that on the Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah, but that may change my mind if they let you.
Yeah, that's cool. It's neat to walk out there. This traffic on the bridge sucks, but you get an idea of like actually how tall that bridge is, how much wind goes through that little opening between the two mountains and everything. It's pretty gnarly, and you don't have to walk very far out to get the realization. So, and then the park there at the Golden Gate Park's pretty nice. It's okay. But it's nice to park there, and that's where you walk out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Little Italy, and I had a good time in Japantown.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't even know there was a Japantown until this last year. Because everybody only ever talks about Chinatown.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'd like there's an old military artillery installation kind of up in the Marin Headlands area.
Okay.
That you can go down to, and you can see the whole concrete base and structure of this artillery that guarded the bay, the mouth and inlet to the bay. So that was pretty cool to see. I'll give it that.
Yeah. Yeah. The hotel we stayed at when we went down to watch a concert at the Fillmore was pretty interesting. I talked about that at one point. I think it was an old women's boarding school.
Yeah.
And supposedly it's haunted.
Okay.
But we didn't stay in the haunted room.
Oh, bummer.
But it's haunted by like the head mistress, and she helps. Like she'll fold your clothes and put it away.
Nice.
Or like beneficial things. And the whole entire hotel's in like an old school Victorian era. And they served sherry and cookies at high noon.
What's sherry?
It's like port, kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's not, it's like port, but it's not.
We should have sherry and cookies in the studio.
Yeah. Yes, I think we should.
All right. New goal. We're going to get some sherry and port here when we redesign and reset the studio.
Yeah. And we have guests, and they're going to have sherry and cookies with us.
Yeah. All right. And last review for the day here is from AF1776. It says, great knowledge. Definitely recommend the trail etiquette episode for anyone new to wheeling.
Yeah. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks for the shout out.
Yep.
I like your name too.
AF1776. Yeah. It's almost that birthday time tomorrow.
Yeah.
So tomorrow from when we're recording, but 2 days ago from when this goes out.
Yes. Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. So those are reviews.
Okay. We got a voicemail.
We have uno voicemailo.
Is it Donnie again?
It is not Donnie.
Oh.
He started talking to us already. Let's see. It's
Chad. He hasn't heard us respond to his.
It's true.
Probably yet.
All right, so this is from Chad.
Chad.
Let's see what Chad has to say here.
Hey, this is Chad, one of your side-by-side listeners. Yeah, sorry about that.
All right, we're done.
Yeah,
Chad.
Shoot, something happened with the recording.
I don't know.
Sorry, you must have get cut off when you called in.
That's weird. Yeah. Sorry, Google messed that up.
Yeah. It sounded like he was sorry though too.
Yeah, maybe. Let's see if I can get this to work again here and see what. See, he might have been a
Chad, one of your side-by-side listeners. Yeah, sorry about that. But
okay.
I wanted to ask if you guys have heard about the Ascender F550 off-road camper. It claims to be one of the most capable off-road campers you can get, and it has a whole lot of claims to it. And I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but Donut Media took it off-roading and camping and ended up pretzeling a drive shaft. And I don't know. It's a $1.2 million camper that claims to be so off-road capable, but looking at it and looking at the design, I feel like it's capable of doing gravel roads with some bumps. I don't know. I just want to know your guys' thoughts on it. Know if you guys have seen anything about that yet. But it took Matt's Off-Road Recovery to come out and build new drive shafts to be able to get it off the trail. I want to hear what you guys think about that. And I'd like to see if you guys have heard about it yet, but keep on crawling.
Sweet.
What up, Chad? No. I've never heard of this.
I haven't either. The F550 platform is kind of, I think that's the platform that's used for the Earth Roamers.
Yeah, I think so too.
So if they're doing something similar to Earth Roamers, I'm not a fan of earth roamers for off-roading. I think earth roamers are great for long distance camping, car camping, like extreme time-wise overlanding and self-sustainability. But earth roamers are terrible off-road, in my opinion. They're way too big, way too heavy to be doing any kind of technical off-road stuff.
Yeah.
But the other side to that is also, as we learned talking with Benji from Budget Overland, overlanding has so many different definitions of what it is. I think off-roading is a just as big, if not bigger, black hole of what is the definition of off-roading. So, is the off-road capabilities that they're toting, the ability to live off of pavement for an extended amount of time?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
we'll try to find it this upcoming week at Overland Expo. But yeah, I've never heard of it. I missed that episode of Donut, I guess. But it sounds like, well, we all kind of know how Donut is harsh on things. So, I was going to say if Donut was able to herd it, then it might not be the best off-road vehicle. But I could see them being a little difficult and tough on some things. But they're probably trying to put it through its paces. And, I know they destroyed a Toyota back in the day, but it's, I think that with so much weight of an F550 and a camper, I can only imagine that drive shafts are purposefully built to be a weak link.
I would hope so.
On those things. They're the fuse, so that you don't hurt anything else underneath that truck. But yeah, no, I'll have to look for it and check it out. And I can only imagine another earth roamer company out there. It's just, that's what I'm picturing.
That's kind of what I'm picturing too, but I'm curious. I think that we'll definitely look into it and then give our opinion on it.
Yeah.
Once we find out some more info.
For sure. Thanks for calling in, Chad.
Yep. Cool stuff, man.
Get rid of the side-by-side.
Trade it in for an actual vehicle.
For an F550.
An F550 Ascender. Oh man. How many side-by-sides would you have to trade in to buy an F550 Ascender? If it's $1.1 million. I
don't know. All of them?
All of
please.
them. Oh, that's funny. All right. What else do we got on the docket for today?
Nothing. I think we were going to, I don't have anything else on my list that we were going to talk about today besides your trip out to Cantina.
Cool.
And emceeing Cantina.
Yeah, that was fun.
I bet.
It was a good time.
It sounds like a great time. So
I
haven't heard anything about it. How'd it go?
Cantina was a lot of fun this year. Cantina's fun every year. This is only my second year going, right?
Yeah.
Because I'd never wanted to deal with the parking shit show of when Cantina was down in the spillway at the Rubicon.
That was, I think, one of the only times that I have gone is when I was down there.
Yeah. So Cantina for the Con is a big fundraiser. It's one of the 3 fundraisers that Rubicon Trail Foundation puts on each year. They put on the Black Tie and Boots.
Yep.
They put on Cantina for the Con, and they put on Off the Rocks, the show and shine out at Dry Diggins. So
that's fun.
Yeah, that one's. I haven't been to that one yet either. I need to go to that one. It seems like something keeps coming up each time I want to go.
I've been 2 of the 3 years, I think, that it's been going on. Yeah.
So I've heard that it's a great event though, and it's a lot of fun. So, but anyways, the Cantina is a big fundraiser where they serve tacos and nachos and drinks, and there's a massive raffle and a couple other ways to spend money. And all of that money goes right back into Rubicon Trail Foundation in order to do awesome stuff on the trail.
Correct.
Right. So last year there was no MC. They were just trying to talk about stuff and bring stuff up throughout the day as it happened. And they found that it was extremely stressful not having an MC and trying to, because all the volunteers are already going every which direction, trying to make stuff happen and keep the event running smoothly. And so I got asked if I wanted to be MC this year to kind of just help the flow of the event.
Were you asked or voluntold?
I was asked.
Okay.
They were nice. They were cool about it.
Nice.
So,
okay.
They asked if I wanted to do it, and I was like, hell yeah, any way I can help out with the event. If it makes your guys' lives easier and that's something that I can do to help the event, count me in.
Cool.
So I got to sit down and talk with John Larson, who is
related?
Nope. He has a weird spelling on his name. It's like Larson.
Yeah. So weird.
Yeah. Fucking people without their silent U's. So peasants. My last name is spelled Laursen. So I've got that like high class U in there. So
yeah, you do.
Thank you. Jimmy Jet, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be here all week. So yeah, I got to sit down with John Larson, went over and kind of made a tentative schedule. He filled me in on the structure for the day, everything that they're planning. He was the chair this year, the committee chair for the event chair, I should say, for Cantina. And yeah, it was fun. He gave me some direction to go with it, but then also said, hey man, you've got complete roaming, whatever you want to do. We trust you. So if you want to pull an audible and do some other stuff, or you have a theme throughout the day that you keep going to, whatever you want to do, go with it. This is the first year that we've had an MC. So, we'll be able to, if we get complaints about you, then we'll just make sure you're not doing it next year. I was like, cool.
Thanks everybody for coming to Cantina from the Con, sponsored by Morflate.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, who are you here to see today? Morflate? Oh, that's great. I'm so happy that you guys came.
Yeah. So, it was just gotta get jumped by Mattson over at Metal Cloak.
Yeah.
So anyways, it was a fun day. It was really cool. They set some records this year. There was probably 2,000 people is what we're estimating down at Rob's Resort.
Wow. I was going to say heat records.
That too. Dude, it's fucking hot up there.
So hot.
Oh my God.
All you guys were sending photos, and I was going down to the coast.
Yeah.
And you guys are like, it's 106, it's 108. I'm like, it's 73.
Yep. You would think like Cantina at Rob's Resort is up in the mountains, right? Yeah. It's up in the Sierras. Uh-huh. It was still 93 degrees.
Dang.
At Rob's Resort. Oh man. But Rob's has a really cool Mister system set up in a big lunch table area. So that was packed all day long.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
Cool.
The bar was flowing. Tons and tons of drinks are being made all day long. They had to open up. So RTF brings their own barbecue trailer to cook all of the meat on for the tacos and the nachos. And they ended up having to cook so much meat because there's so many people there that they had to open up both of Rob's grills.
Oh, dang.
As their barbecue grills too. So 3 barbecues going on.
Dang.
And Ryan from Ryan Redenbaugh, he was manning one of the grills all day long. And I was like, dude, I would have passed out the first hour. Like, it's out of everybody there, all the volunteers jobs there, that was the job that I would never do.
Right. You're like, either keep bringing me water or water that has hops in it.
Yes.
One of those I need.
Yes.
But pour the water on my head, put the one with hops in my hand.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the videos of the dudes like working in forges and they pull metal out of the forge and then throw it back in? And while it's in, they get water thrown on them?
No.
That's what I would have had needed to be done. So,
well, even in the 90s, we're like cresting your peak heat allowance.
Yeah. Once we get above 85, like my body just starts shutting down. If it's 85 in the sun, my body starts shutting down. And so
I'm surprised you even were able to do this.
I had a water in my beer pocket. I had my Morflate shirt on with the hidden beer pocket. I had 2 or 3 bottles of cold water in there at all times.
Yeah, there you go.
So that, and I was staying in the shade. I would go sit under the misters a bunch of times, waiting in between announcements and stuff. So that's how I was able to do it. But awesome event. Rob's is a beautiful venue. It's really impressive that the venue that they have there, it's got a massive stage with some pretty impressive speakers and electronics built into it for doing live bands.
Oh, cool.
And so we had 2 live bands there. The first one was called the Nomads. And they just did heavy metal covers, 80s metal covers.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the second band that came on is Ken Hauer's band.
Oh.
Ken Hauer is the president of RTF. He's in a metal band, a rock band. I don't want to say metal.
Got it.
But they cover Judas Priest and AC/DC.
Okay.
Yeah.
How fun.
So the name of their band, God, I messed it up every single time I said it.
Juicy DC.
I think it's Priest DC. It's either Priest DC or Judas DC.
It's one of those.
It's one of those. I think it's Judas DC because Judas Priest and then AC/DC. So you take the first one and the last one and combine it.
Judas DC.
So I think it's Judas DC. But anyways, they were awesome. The lead singer of Judas DC sounds exactly and looks almost exactly like the lead singer of AC/DC.
Oh, how funny.
So that voice you hear from AC/DC, it sounds, he does it perfectly.
What does it sound like?
I can't do it. I'm not even going to try. That's not.
Everybody in your head just think Thunderstruck.
Exactly.
You'll hear him.
Yep. So anyways, the live bands were awesome all day long.
Yeah. Cool.
We do need to work out, I think, better how to pair an MC with the live bands.
Yeah.
Because there's announcements that need to happen and we have to do it in between the band's songs, but the bands don't know to look for the MC to see if there's something that needs to be said before they go on to the next song. So it was kind of
you need to be up on stage is what you're saying.
I was on stage quite a bit with the bands and I would try to be like waving at them to be like, hey, after this song, there's an announcement needs to go. That got missed a bunch of times.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
But the bands were awesome. There was a cornhole tournament that Hot Metal Fab sponsored and put on.
I saw the prizes or the trophies.
The trophies were so rad.
They were so cool. I know.
Super freaking cool.
I went to Hot Metal Fab when he was working on them.
Oh, really?
Just
so you
by
got
chance.
to see him in person.
Yeah. So
that's
cool.
Yeah. The pictures, if anybody sees pictures of those trophies, the pictures don't do them justice. They're in person. They are an amazing work of art. And I was like, it's cool to see that they're putting that new laser to work.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I want to have them make a Morphlate, something from Morphlate, and that similar design now.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but anyways,
they might be my new laser people coming up
too,
for Snail armor.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'll be neat. They're great dudes. Hot Metal Fab, check them out. But they so the funny thing about the cornhole tournament, there was a ringer there that nobody knew about.
Really?
I don't know how many people know about it.
Okay.
There was a lady there who was a world champion at cornhole.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
She's a world champion.
Wow.
She never told anybody. And she cleaned house. She destroyed everybody.
That's awesome.
And it's even better because there was apparently one team that was giving the organizer of the cornhole tournament a lot of issues. And they were shit talking other teams and just being kind of bad, either really big competitors or bad sports about stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
Just because they were taking it too competitively. And this girl just wiped them clean and it was amazing. And I don't think she ever told anybody that she was a world-class cornhole winner champion.
Yeah.
So a world champion.
Did she have a teammate?
Yeah, it was teams. It was doubles. They were doing doubles.
Okay. And
the teammate wasn't that bad either. I mean, I don't know how much he's played, but he was doing good too. But you could just tell she was beyond the level of everybody else there.
Oh yeah. I see it occasionally on like Instagram and there people like there's, bean bags in front of the hole and people know how to throw it at a perfect arc and angle to land just beyond those bean bags and go right into the hole. And you're like, yeah, I try to just get it onto the wood platform and I'm happy.
Yeah. So that was funny. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if she ever told anybody eventually that she was a world champion. But
did she bring her own bags?
Oh yeah. Everybody that was in the final four, had their own bags.
Wow.
Yeah.
That could be interesting though, too. It's like, there should be kind of a rule against that in a way. Should be like a common bag for all.
A common bag for everybody? Yeah. I don't know.
Because it would bring more, I don't know. It'd be like bowling. If you go bowling, everybody brings their own bowling ball because they're used to bowling balls, right? But if you had somebody else, if you had to use another bowling ball, are you still as good or are you more average?
That's a good question, right? I don't know. So yeah, that was really fun. The downside to the cornhole tournament was that it was done right in front of the stage.
Yeah.
So you couldn't hear anything. You couldn't hear the cornhole direct organizer calling any of the team names for people to come and play for their brackets. And so that was one of the big things that I had to keep doing was stop the bands to call the teams from across the Rob's Resort to come. Hey, you guys are due up on cornhole. Get over here. yeah, everybody, I mean, nobody could talk to the organizer about, about who won what match and everything. So they'll need to place cornhole a different spot next year, I think.
Yes. Or yes. But I don't know if I want to say it. I'm going to say it. One of my biggest gripes about events like this is music should not be the focus of the event. Yeah. Music should be a background. Music, like you should like, unless it's a concert that, everything else that's going on is done and the music is the thing that's happening. My opinion, music should be a background. Yeah. So that, an announcer can still announce, or there's a hobby or a game going on, they can do that. That people can talk. This wasn't a concert that people were going to, but it sounds like music was so loud and drowning out everything there that nobody could do anything else.
Pretty much. Yeah. So, the vendors were decently spaced away. The Morphlate booth was off in the corner. So you could barely hear the stage at all. I want to say barely hear the stage, but it wasn't impeding on what was going on over there at all. Okay. But yeah, Metal Cloak was like front and center, and I know it was probably loud for them. Yeah. So
that would be my gripe. And we've said this before, like, if you're putting the vendors near the stage, don't turn the music up so loud that the vendors can't do their job. Yeah. They're there to try to sell and promote their products. And if you're making them scream and yell, then they're not going to want to come back.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. There's definitely something to that that events can learn from. But yeah, it was an all day event. So 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. is when it shut down.
Wow. Okay.
So, good times.
You said you didn't leave until like 9:30.
Yeah, because after the event, we went over and said hi to Morgan because he was doing his 10-year celebration for Sidetracked Offroad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, we set up the booth. Team Australia ran the booth. So Ozzy, Kelly, and Gavin ran the Morphlate booth, and they were right there. We were off in the corner with Offroad Warehouse, Morphlate, Stellar Built, Bun Trail Welder, the Rubicon ice cream truck was there with them too. And they were right next to the kitchen, the raffle ticket booth, and the RTF swag booth. Nice. So, it was fun because I brought the Starlink out to run the booth from. Yeah. And it was a big hit with everybody in that corner.
Everybody wanted it.
Everybody wanted to get on the Starlink, and I have a very juvenile password for the Wi-Fi. So
is it like any of your other passwords that I might know?
Probably. Okay. Yeah. All my passwords are very juvenilistic. Yeah. So, Ozzy had to give that password out to people.
Lovely.
So like, he was like, there was a bunch of times when people were like, oh, I see you have a Starlink over here. Is this the ID, the Wi-Fi ID of it, the SID? He goes, yeah. And they're like, cool. What's the password? He'd be like, let me just type it into your phone.
I would have pictured Ozzy being like overjoyous to be able to say that out loud.
That's what I thought too.
But okay,
I don't know. He had his professional face on, I guess, for the day, and I'm like, dude, you need to lighten up. You need to tell people if they're not okay with that password, they don't deserve to be on the Starlink.
There you go. Exactly. If you don't want to type this into your phone, then you don't get the internet.
Yep, exactly. So, anyways, it was the Morphlate booth was a big hit. All the vendor booths were a pretty good hit. So, cool. There was a lot of vendors there this year. They had 3 sections worth of vendors. So, everybody got some good attention. Cal Flight was there, or Reach. They're called Reach now, but it's the California helicopter insurance. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they were there. It was cool to see them. El Dorado National Forest was there. Oh, they had a booth set up, which I thought was awesome. So I went and talked with them, and I asked them a couple of questions. I was like, first off, do fire permits require a wet signature? He goes, no. Okay. I was like, so I can have a screenshotted copy of the fire permit on my phone, and you guys are okay with that? He goes, we prefer it that way. I was like, do you know who Peggy is? He goes, yeah. And I was like, she disagrees with you very heavily. So you guys might want to have that all straightened out. So, and I told him the story and he goes, no. He goes, if you take that online course and you take the screenshot of that certificate, that is 100% binding legal. And we prefer it that way because a lot of times the paper certificates, if they get wet, the paper dissolves, the ink dissolves, and we can't tell.
Fades or whatever.
He said 100%. He goes, people, if they're most guarded over one thing while they're camping, it's usually their phone, and they will pretty much always have their phone on them. So that's how we prefer people keep track of their fire permits.
Okay, good.
I was like,
thank you.
Sweet.
Can you make that clear with your employees?
Exactly. Yes. So I was like, good. I'm glad I got clarification on that finally. So
Do you know who you were talking to?
God, his name, it wasn't Dustin. Dustin is the interim guy as they're hiring a new OHV person.
So I personally know Dustin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Dustin is the guy I've been talking to about the chainsaw certification and working on trails to get him open, because he's the guy in charge of trails, but he more overlooks all the foot trails, like the desolation trails and everything. Yeah. And so he's kind of in the interim while Peggy is retiring. He's also looking over the OHV trails until they get a OHV person hired.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
And onboarded. So
we could probably get him in here.
That would be cool. That'd be awesome.
If we want to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'd be fun. Let's look into that.
The assistant's like best friend's brother.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to get Dustin in here then and talk with him about Forest Service stuff.
Okay.
So
I'll work on that.
Sweet. The other cool thing at the Forest Service booth was that the Forest Service just launched a mapping software.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Their own thing. So typically in the past, the Forest Service app mapping software has always been done on Avenza. So Avenza is not their software.
Yeah.
They make a map that you can load into Avenza.
Sure. Okay.
And I hate Avenza.
Tell us how you truly feel.
I think Avenza is worthless when you're out there because it doesn't automatically scroll the maps according to where you're going.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And so if you drive off the edge of a map and you're not paying attention, you need to know which map you need to now load into Avenza that covers the area you're in.
Yeah. So it doesn't scroll for you.
It doesn't scroll for you. And it's a super annoying feature of Avenza that I hate. So anyways, they came out with their own app now, and there's a ton of awesome features in it.
Oh.
It's official U.S. Forest Service updated data. So all of the current U.S. Forest Service roads that the Forest Service knows about and maintains in their road inventory is on this app. It'll tell you where all campsites are.
Wow. Okay.
Every single campsite within the forest area, the Forest Service area. It will also tell you where estimated cell coverage is.
Interesting.
And you can download the sections of the maps offline.
Nice.
So it has offline functionality. And he said there's a ton of other stuff there. And it's a really, really good tool if you're going to be out in any national forest nationwide. And he's disappointed that the U.S. Forest Service is not marketing that and pushing that tool more to users and visitors. So we're going to push it. I think I'm going to download it and try it out. He said that there's notes on all the trails too. So like there's notes on whether it's open or not during the winter for trail closures for MVUM stuff. Nice. It'll tell you whether it's a single track trail, motor, dual track trail, whatever, a foot trail, everything.
Multi-use or whatever.
Multi-use, whatever, everything that they are. So I'm like, that's pretty cool to be able to have updated, accurate data direct from the Forest Service about stuff that you're going to be going and doing. That's valuable.
Yeah. So that's pretty neat.
I'm hoping that somebody like Onyx or Gaia gets a partnership teamed up with the Forest Service to be able to take all that data and be able to automatically, as they update their app, plug it into Onyx or Gaia. Because the major problem with the Forest Service app is that it only covers Forest Service territory.
Right. I was going to say, like, now I need Gaia, Onyx, and Forest Service maps and Google Maps offline.
Yep. Exactly. So, until for Forest Service stuff, I think it's going to be an awesome tool. I'm going to play around with it here shortly this summer. But if you're in BLM land or national park or something, you're not going to get all that data. Yeah. There's not all that data for the other places. So we're still going to need to rely on Gaia or Onyx or something like that for those other places we go to.
What's the iBackpacker or what? iCamper?
iCamper one for the dispersed camping spots. Yeah. So anyways, that was really cool. Rage Forth was out there. Jason Shearer's company that does bumpers, armor, stuff for off-road vehicles.
Wow.
Let's see. Rough Stuff was out there. Crash Fab was out there, who built Adam's Jeep. Oh, that one dude.
Oh.
They did all of his work. So
okay, I didn't know that.
So Adam was out there as well. With his Jeep. Let's see who else is up there. Gold Country Broncos and Wild West 4x4, which is a bunch of Bronco stuff.
Yep.
So they were out there.
Are they the ones out of Granite Bay?
I don't know where Wild West is located, actually. That's a good question.
There's a new Bronco company in Granite Bay.
Yeah. Okay.
That builds up Broncos.
Okay, cool. I'll have to look into them. But yeah, they're all out there. Let's see. Metal Cloak, Cloakworks, and Adventure Rack Systems was all out there. The Metal Cloak brands. We had Axial RC Cars and RC Country Hobbies.
Yeah.
Was out there.
The whole Axial Fest happens at Rob's Resort.
Yeah, on the West Coast Fest. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it makes sense that they would be out at this event as well.
So they had a whole rock course set up, which was kind of fun. Yeah. Four Wheel Parts was out there. Offroad Warehouse, Bun Trail Welder, Moreflate Stellar Built, Legacy Trail Welders.
Yeah.
Let's see. Rubicon Garage was out there, Aaron Nunley.
Oh.
So he's another fabrication shop kind of in Sacramento area. So yeah, and then there was a handful. There was like 5 booths that were kind of like homemade art stuff.
Oh, really?
Like kind of stuff that your Nomads did.
Okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
So they had like ponchos, they had sweaters, they had dresses that they made. They had a ton of jewelry using crystals and all sorts of fun things. So there was one lady that she did photography and had a bunch of Rubicon pictures from the trail on canvas prints.
Interesting.
That was really cool. And I was like, can you do metal prints? She goes, yeah. I was like, I'm going to be reaching out to you after the event here.
Metal prints are so good.
Dude,
looking.
They're so good. So I want to get a couple metal prints here for the warehouse in the office area. But yeah, some really cool arts and craft stuff going on out there too from people. So overall, the vendors were a lot of fun, getting to go around and seeing people that I haven't seen in a bit here and getting to say hi to them and getting to meet some new vendors and see some of the arts and crafts stuff. It was cool.
Yeah. Sounds like a fantastic time.
It was fun. MCing was a lot of fun because I got to poke fun at people and they couldn't do anything about it. It's kind of like a podcast.
Yeah.
So the first hour was a lot of just, here's all the activities going on today. Make sure you stop by this vendor, check what they're doing. Make sure you guys get signed up for cornhole in time for the registration deadline. There's going to be tacos at this time. The bar will open. There's rock crawling course with RC cars. So it was a lot of going over all the activities for the day. And then throughout the day, I got to spread in some fun history about the trail.
Okay.
And so I have some of that here for everybody.
All right. We've some of this, I'm assuming we've covered on other podcasts.
Some of it, yeah. Like the RS-2477 road.
Mm-hmm.
It was first stated as a county maintained road in 1867.
Wow.
66 or 67 in the 1800s.
Yeah.
And then that was reaffirmed as an official RS-2477 road. El Dorado County reclaimed it and kind of retold the feds, yes, we do. This is our RS-2477 road in 1977.
Okay.
And so that RS-2477, we've talked about it in the episode 220, the Rubicon history episode. But that is what claims the road as a non-maintained county road. So it cannot be shut down.
Correct.
It is illegal to shut down the trail. They can shut down the roads that lead up to the trail, effectively blocking access to the trail, but they cannot shut down the trail itself. So RS-2477, and then there are 5 different jurisdictions, public agencies that have jurisdiction over the Rubicon Trail.
Okay. We kind of talked about that in the last episode with that group meeting you were on.
40% of the trail is private property.
Wow. I didn't know that much.
Yep. 22 miles is the total trail.
That's out to Homa.
That's out to Homa too. So if you go from, I believe, the Loon Lake Spillway, the kiosk to Observation Point is 13 miles.
Yes, that sounds right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The first Jeepers Jamboree, which kind of started.
Let me guess.
Okay.
The first official registered Jeepers Jamboree? Is that what this is? Or the first one that sort of like maybe friends and family got together?
I think it's the first original like registered one.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with, well, I know it just rolled over 50, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now I need to do that math. I don't know. I was going to guess it was in the early 50s, like 55.
53.
53.
Yep,
okay.
1953. 1952, Mark Smith did take a few buddies and important people out on the trail. He had the idea of creating this event in order to support the economy of Georgetown.
Okay. Yeah.
In 1952. And then that was kind of, he took people out on the trail as a test run kind of thing. Sure. And then the first Jeepers Jamboree of what became Jeepers Jamboree started in 1953.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah. And then this next one kind of surprised me, and it surprised a lot of people out there too.
Okay.
When was the first water bar put on the trail, built onto the trail?
Let's see. First water bar. So a water bar is a diffuser or a turn
diverts water flow.
It's from running down the trail to running off of the trail.
Exactly.
So I'll go with, my guess is it was probably on Cadillac.
Okay.
I'm purely guessing here. My guess it's on Cadillac because that's one of the steeper sort of sections of the trail. And I think it went in the 70s.
1970s?
Yes.
Nope.
Oh, okay. 1870s?
Nope. This is the surprising part though, because I asked the crowd.
Yeah.
I was like, when do you guys think the first water bar is? And I was like, Aaron, keep in mind, like the whole reason why we're doing this event today, we have over 2,000 people at Rob's Resort is because of being able to maintain the trail and make sure we have funds to do that so that we get to continue using the trail.
Yeah.
And so everybody was guessing 70s, 50s, 60s,
so
80s.
It's probably like late 90s.
2001.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody cared about water.
Nope.
Until around in the 90s and
2001, 2002, when they found out that, what was it? The Carnage on the Con events happened and, that there was literally shit running down the slabs at Little Sluice. That's when everybody was like, oh, we have a water issue up here now. And that's when Spider Lake died. But anyways, so yeah, 2001 was the first water bar.
Huh. Okay.
2007 was the first gabion ever. And a gabion is the fencing put down with rock.
Yeah.
And the fencing helps hold all the rock in place.
Correct. Yep.
And that was at Buck Island.
Oh.
Yeah. In 2011, RTF helped with a major repair on Cadillac Hill. In 2012 was the original easement agreement with the Forest Service. Or I guess that's when the easement agreement got renegotiated into what it is, what it was before all the shit happened this year.
Yeah.
So by the end of 2022, the 2012 easement agreement was the agreement between the Forest Service, County Parks and Rec, DOT, and the sheriff. And so that easement agreement is essentially getting reinitiated this year, but now there's going to be stipulations for emergency closures.
Okay.
So 2013, RTF helped install 9 more toilets.
Yep.
In 2016 was when the major rebuild on the Green Bridge down at Rubicon Springs.
Really?
Mm-hmm. 2018, Rubicon Trail Foundation spent $15,000 to fly rock over to Cadillac Hill to help re-solidify Cadillac Hill. In 2020, RTF matched $32,000 with the county to put more rock on Caddy, and I believe that is when they did the gabion right below V-Rock.
Yeah.
And stabilized that whole off-camber section there on Cadillac. 2020 was another bunch of bathrooms got repaired. And in 2020, they put $5,000 towards a repeater upgrade. So a very low power, sustained repeater, high quality Daniels repeater for the ham repeater system at Spider Lake.
Nice.
In 2022, RTF put together a bunch of funds for the GMRS repeater.
Yeah.
And then in 2023, the trail got closed and RTF is really heading up the negotiation of the new easement agreement.
Yeah. All sounds right. Yeah. That's cool. That's some good facts on the trail there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of facts with more recent stuff, not some older facts.
Yeah, it's a lot of these facts were stuff that Rubicon Trail Foundation has been directly involved with, right?
Yeah.
And they weren't around until I don't remember when.
Probably around, my guess is close to the 90s or 2000 when.
Well, Friends of the Rubicon Trail, FOTR, started in 2001.
Yes.
And that was, people that were anybody who cared anything about the trail can come up and help with something.
Right.
It was an organized organization in the sense that there was somebody organizing all the volunteers, but there wasn't like an entity for legal reasons.
Okay.
And RTF became the first entity for legal reasons because they also needed a way to have a nonprofit to manage all the money that was coming into Friends of the Rubicon. So I believe RTF came out, I want to say it was late 2000s, early 2010s.
Oh.
And then FOTR was kind of the main thing up until then. Then finally they decided, we're getting a lot of fundraisers and money donations. We need to have a legal status to keep all that safe. So
got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
So
makes sense.
Fun event, big event. I'm hoping they spent, they made a lot of money. They should have. There's a ton of people there. And then there's been some talk amongst people, I'll put it that way, of that RTF has kind of built up this nest egg of funds. And they really want to start looking at putting it to use and looking at projects that they can do to put the funds towards.
Cool.
So we're hoping that with the combination of the new Rubicon meeting group, that as the county or the DOT or Forest Service or Placer district wants to work on stuff on the trail, Rubicon Foundation, RTF will be able to immediately know that they're planning this work and be able to help match funds to go towards these work projects.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, they're continuously moving forward and actually kind of sounds like they're looking towards the future.
Yep.
So excellent. Yep. I think everybody realizes what a jewel the Rubicon Trail is. We take, you and I take it for granted. There's like, we just, we've heard in some of the reviews just this today, that people from all over the country want to come out here and drive that trail, and it's for groups like, from Friends of the Rubicon to Rubicon Trail Foundation and all the people that volunteer and all the clubs that are volunteering and all the other organizations that have a say in this. It's, I think a lot of us, come down and realize that we need to keep this safe.
Yeah. And it's really unique too, because there's no other trail like it, like in the world. There's no other trail that has so many hands in the pot on what goes on. That it really does take some creative problem solving and a lot of communication amongst all the entities. And so, whatever comes out of stuff that happens on the trail, it usually, because it's so chaotic, you can usually start taking some of that stuff and applying it to other trails too, because it's a lot simpler on the other trails. So, hopefully, we've already seeing it, the Adopt a Trail stuff kind of started with the Rubicon and now it's being spread across trails across the state. And we're starting to see other states now picking up the Adopt a Trail system. There's lots of things that I think the Rubicon Trail has started that are moving cross country, if not already cross country in the off-road industry. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Cool stuff. It was a fun event. Hats off to RTF for putting on a good event. We're looking forward to the one next year and we'll see how it goes.
Excellent. Yeah. That's all I've got. You got anything else on that?
Nope. That's all I got there.
Cool. Well, if people have any questions for us, you can always find us over on Instagram. I'm at Snail Trail 4x4. Tyler's at 4x4 Toyota Tyler. You can email us, Jimmy or Tyler at snailtrail4x4.com, or you can phone in and leave us a voice message. and tell us how much you missed Cantina for the Con and how you want it to be a weekend event every single weekend. And you can do that at area code 916-345-4744.
That sounds good to me. I like it all. So Jimmy, Jet, do you have any final words for everybody out there?
I'm a little jealous of Stellar Built's Aussie Ute build with the Coors Light tray.
Coors tray. That came in handy for them. Yeah. Yeah. That's nice. And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
Okay. Ready, bro.
Did you know that milk is the fastest liquid on Earth?
Okay. Why?
It's past your eyes before you even see it.
That's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.